YouTube, happy Fitness Friday. Today I've got some great questions lined up. If you have a question that you want to be part of Fitness Friday, comment them here, message them to me on Twitter, on Instagram, tweet them at me. I'll make sure to get that question answered. So this first question, it says, I've been getting back into the gym a lot since we last talked and I'm considering taking vitamins to assist. How highly would you recommend taking them? So anytime someone asks about supplement, that word means to aid something. So in this instance, a dietary supplement or nutrition supplement is meant to aid your fitness. So you first and foremost want to be eating clean. Next, you want to get your workouts taken care of. You want to be on the right workout program for you. Then you want to be consistent with it. And then third, and I mean a distant third, is supplements. So if you're nailing everything else, supplements are going to put you over the top, and that's great. If you're really wavering in your nutrition and your workouts, or even both, I wouldn't even worry about the supplements. It's just not necessary. The amount they help, more often than not, is not worth the cost of the supplement. So if you're not nailing your nutrition, if you're not nailing your workouts, there is almost no point in using supplements. Now, if you're nailing both of those things, a supplement can put you over the top or give you that last 1% to 2%. So you need to be honest with yourself and make that decision. So the first part of this question says, I just watched the 20-minute workout routine. What does scaled mean? So scaled just means a slightly easier version or maybe a mobility modified version. So maybe you can't do the full version yet. Totally okay. That's why we offer the scaled exercises. And with our personal training clients, we're going to create a plan that fits their needs. But for these YouTube videos that are kind of more geared towards the masses, we try to have the full, the advanced workout, and then for some of them we offer a scaled version. Maybe you're in the beginning of your fitness journey, maybe you're coming off an injury, then that scaled version is probably going to be a better fit for you. So the second part of this question, the person's referring to the 3-day free workout plan I gave out. If you don't have a copy of that, message me, I'll get it to you. I'll also put a link to download it in my description. So basically they're saying, can I just follow these 3 days of workouts plus some of my YouTube videos? Yes and no. If you're just doing random workouts, don't get me wrong. Any workout is great. I am not knocking that. You only regret the workouts you don't do. But with that being said, if you've got some serious goals, you've got some lofty goals, maybe you want to lose a lot of weight, maybe you want to add some muscle, maybe you're a little more ambitious than just being generally fit, you need to follow structured programming. So you want to be on something that progressively improves whatever it is that you're working towards. So just doing random workouts, you're going to hit plateaus relatively quickly. Again, I'm not discouraging anyone from working out, especially if you're in the beginning of your fitness journey. Do any and every workout that you can get your hands on. There's a lot of free content out there. I never want to discourage someone from doing that. But if you've got goals beyond that, you want to get on some type of structured programming, not just a random YouTube video or even one of my free plans that are only a couple days. You want to look beyond that. So this question says, how do you figure out what the best things to eat are? It seems so overwhelming to me. That's a great question. There's so much nutrition information out there, and it's hard to navigate, especially when a lot of it's conflicting. You've got all these different diets that you take, maybe like a low carb diet or like a keto diet. You might take a higher carb, but maybe it's low glycemic, so it's different types of carbs. With all these different dietary plans out there, all this different nutrition information, it's overwhelming. I totally get that. The first thing that I suggest to anyone that is either trying to lose weight, gain muscle, whatever it may be, research macros. Learn how to track macros. Now, counting macros is not everything there is in nutrition. There's a lot of other important elements of it, but if you want to learn one thing and get the most bang for your buck in regards to knowledge, learning about macronutrients and how to track them is the best way to go. Most fitness influencers, even most fit people you see at the gym, that's usually one of the first things that they get started on after just initially starting to work out, is learning how to track macros. Worrying about specific foods and whether it's got this type of fat or that type of micronutrient or this, that, or the other, that's where it gets overwhelming. So if you're just starting out in the whole nutrition realm and you're doing things on your own, start tracking macros. This question says, what's the best thing to eat before a workout, like that isn't a meal? So I'm guessing they're saying a snack. Before a workout, you're looking for energy. You're going to get energy from carbs and fats. Specifically with carbs, there's high glycemic carbs, low glycemic carbs, and that's a sliding scale. All that means is how quickly your body can utilize that energy. So before a workout, you're going to want to get something that's mid to high glycemic to get some energy, so get some quick energy. And I'm not saying go grab a candy bar because that's about as high glycemic as you're going to get, or any other simple sugar. But maybe take some rice. Your body's going to break that down really quick. I guess in regards to snacks, fruit would be great. You could also go the route of get some nuts. That's going to give you some great fat. It's going to give you some energy. Some other examples are going to be, obviously you got your fruits. You got strawberries, bananas are good, blackberries, raspberries. I love apples, pears when they're ripe are awesome. Even protein bars. If you're struggling to get your protein in the entire day, they're still going to have good mid to high glycemic carbs that your body can break down relatively quickly. So really anything that's not loaded with processed sugar, but is going to have simpler carbs that your body can break down and use for energy. This question says, what do you have in the morning? I'm assuming they're talking about what do I eat. Every morning I eat virtually the same meal. My fiance Cassie actually makes it for me, and it's an overnight oatmeal. Now, depending on whether I'm trying to gain weight, lose weight, the amounts in this meal will fluctuate, but the ingredients in it are oatmeal, egg whites, almond milk, stevia for sweetener, powdered peanut butter, and a little bit of protein powder. Again, the amounts of each of those things are going to fluctuate depending on what my goals are at the time. I'd say right now I'm kind of in a maintenance phase where I'm really not losing or gaining weight, and that oatmeal is probably 450 to 500 calories for the whole thing, and that's what I have every morning. A lot of mornings I'll eat like 3/4 of it, go to the gym, and then I'll just kind of finish it off later in the day. Just kind of depending on how hungry I am. But that's what I have every single morning. Best tips for someone looking to start jumping rope for the first time: practice. And I'd start with the single jumps. Then you can work up to double unders when you're feeling a little more confident. But it's a lot of rhythm, so just practice. Not a bunch else to it. It's like anything else. The more effort you give it, the better you're going to be at it. So this is a question I get a lot, and it says, how many calories should I eat in a day? And without knowing you, I cannot give you a specific answer. There is not one size fits all with nutrition. What I would suggest, and this is something that definitely deserves a deeper in-depth video, but what I would first suggest is find out some vitals by yourself. So I'm assuming most people know how tall they are. You want to figure out how much you weigh, and then ideally you figure out what your body fat percentage is. From there, you can figure out your lean mass. And then I base how many calories my clients eat, based off of their lean mass. Because if you're just using your body weight without your lean mass, that doesn't tell the whole picture. You could be 200 pounds and be pure muscle. Your body's going to need more calories. Or you could be 200 pounds and be 50% body fat. You're not going to need as much calories as that guy that's pure muscle. So there's a lot of variance there. There's a lot of online calculators, I'll be honest. Some hit the mark, some of them miss the mark. So I don't necessarily have any I recommend. Even companies that are super well funded, take like a MyFitnessPal, which is now owned by Under Armour. A lot of times people will punch in their information on there, and because it's not using enough metrics, it'll actually give you the wrong information for how many calories you should be eating in a day. I think that's something that probably deserves its own video that I would love to take a deeper dive into. What are the best workouts and any other recommendations for reducing cellulitis? So refer to cellulite, and that's something that is, I'm just being completely transparent, it's probably a little outside of my expertise. I would probably suggest speaking to your practitioner about that, your doctor. With that being said, exercise is going to hurt. Really make sure you're drinking enough water. That's going to help. That's going to help with the elasticity of your skin. And then outside of that, filling your body out with muscle and reducing fat, those two things are going to help. So that's kind of the quick, easy answer there. What workouts would you suggest for lower stomach or abs? And there's a ton of them. First, I would ask, do you have a gym? Are you working out at home? Do you have equipment? I think I'll just go ahead and share some of my favorite workouts that are at home, and then I'll share some in the gym. So the entire abdomen wall, the main action is to support your body. So a lot of stability exercises are going to help with your total core. With your lower abs, there's actually a lot of unique ways you can hit it.
That's what she said.
When you're hitting the lower abs, you're going to know right away. A total core exercise or even oblique exercise, you'll feel those lower abs when it hits. It hits. So a lot of movements where you're hanging and lifting your legs. Whether it's a bent knee, whether it's straight legs, it could be weighted. You could be moving your legs in different variations. That's going to really just destroy your lower abs. The one thing you always want to be mindful of when training your lower abs is that you're actually training your abs and not your hip flexors. There's a lot of exercises where if you're not really focused on contracting your abs, your legs and your hip flexors will actually do a lot of the work. And beyond that, you actually could risk a lot of injury because they're not really designed to do that just stabilizing, grueling work that your core is. So just be mindful of that. Is it actually possible to gain weight while losing fat at the same time? And this person says, like when you're skinny fat. Absolutely. This is definitely one of the toughest things to do. So losing fat inherently is a little bit easier than gaining muscle. You can do it quicker. Gaining muscle takes a little more time. There's more that goes into it. But you can certainly do both at the same time. You need to be very strategic with not only your training, but your nutrition. With training, you need to train in rep ranges that allow you to build strength, create hypertrophy, which is breaking down your muscles, but still kind of balance in that cardio element where you're basically burning calories. You're training in a way where you're building muscle. Your heart rate may not be getting up a ton. You're burning calories. It's probably not a lot, but you need to be mindful of how many calories you're burning. On the flip side, with nutrition, you want to be in a calorie deficit to lose that weight, but you don't want to be in too large of a calorie deficit that you can't support muscle growth. So this is where I tell a lot of people, be mindful of your macros because you're going to want to have enough protein that your body's recovering, and then you're going to really probably need to be mindful of the carbs and the fat you're having to balance out. Make sure you're getting enough calories, but not too much that you're also gaining fat. So if your goal is far and away to gain muscle, I wouldn't worry about the fat loss as much. If your goal is to do a lean bulk, you've got to be mindful of the whole picture. You really have to nail down your nutrition. You've got to nail down your exercise. I would really suggest being mindful of where your macros are at, which will then control what your caloric intake is. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it's definitely doable. And anybody that tells you it's not is wrong. So this question says, is coffee okay to drink on the plan? Also, how much water should I consume each day? This is someone who's doing one of my workout plans. Coffee, absolutely. The one thing you need to be mindful of is coffee will dehydrate you, so you do want to make sure to drink a little extra water after drinking coffee, or at least throughout the day. There's nothing wrong with coffee, except what you may or may not put into it. Ideally, you drink your coffee black, no problem at all. If you need to sweeten it or maybe lighten it, try some almond milk, try some coconut milk, try some oat milk. As far as sweeteners go, stevia is far and away my favorite. On the bottom of that, you really don't want to be just adding straight sugar. So be mindful of that. Any calories you're going to get in your coffee are empty calories. Coffee by itself is going to have virtually no calories, but what you add into it, whether it's sugar, whether it's a sweetener, whether it's a creamer, those are going to be super calorie dense, and they're basically pointless calories. As far as water goes, I tell most of my guys, you want to drink 1 gram per pound of lean mass you have. And that's kind of your benchmark of, okay, I want to hit this number. So I weigh 200 pounds. I'm probably about 10% body fat, which means I've got 180 pounds of lean mass. So I want to drink at least 180 grams of water in a day. I could almost guarantee that's more than most people are drinking. And if you look up the requirements to survive, that's well beyond that. I'm not making that claim. But to maximize your health potential, you want to be drinking that much water. This question says, how much would you say is diet and how much is exercise? They're both important. Make no bones about it. Nutrition is more important. You could reach a lot of your fitness goals without working out. You can't reach your fitness goals without having your nutrition nailed down. And what I mean by that is you cannot outwork a bad diet. If you're eating poorly, it's virtually irrelevant how hard you're training, or what your training regimen is, if your diet is just completely off. Now, most people, they're not completely off, and that's why that's not the case. That's why it isn't dragging them down exponentially. But if you were going to nail down one thing, and it's not the sexy answer, you want to nail down your nutrition first. This question says, how do you get rid of your lower gut? So just like any other, maybe you want to lose some fat in your arms, maybe you want to lose some fat in your legs, maybe, wherever it may be. This is what's called spot reduction. And I'm telling you right now, it is a myth. There's no way to spot reduce. That's where these products that these ab trainers where you put it on your abs and maybe they vibrate or maybe they make you sweat more. They're bullshit. They don't do anything. And I apologize for getting off on a tangent, but those products are an absolute joke and are, in my opinion, crossing so many ethical violations being on the market. With that being said, the best way to get rid of your lower gut is to reduce your overall body fat percentage. Everybody, as they lose body fat, is slowly going to lose fat all over their body, and each person carries their fat differently. So me, for example, as I lose my body fat, the last holdouts I keep it are in my lower back and in my face. This person, their last place may be they're in the lower abdomen. But as you reduce body fat, even that last holdout will eventually get carved out. And that's how you do that. You just lower your overall body fat percentage. That wraps up this week's Fitness Friday Q&A. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching it. If you have any questions, please ask me. I love answering them. I'm here to help. Obviously, you don't have to pay me anything. I'm here to help. I try to do these 2 to 3 Fridays a month, whether they're here on YouTube, whether I'm answering them on Twitter or Instagram, but you can ask them wherever you can find me. So tweet them to me, message them to me, text me. I'm here to answer your questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up.